Last time I didn't record it, so we are going to cover Unit 1, Corporate Sustainability Strategy, Developing Strategy through Benchmarking and Balanced Scorecard, Entrepreneur and Employee Engagement, and Operational Sustainability. But it's all about Corporate Sustainability Strategy. Let's go through it. To assess the PPT, it's pretty easy. Yeah, you have to copy this guy. I've uploaded in the server so that anybody can access the presentation in case you want it at leisure. Right, so this is all about corporate sustainability. So first thing we need to understand when we do corporate sustainability strategy, what really is corporate sustainability strategy? What do you think? Right, to comment right below, like what do you think is corporate sustainability strategy? Right, so we'll come back to this graph later. I just put it in case. So basically, before we delve into that, we need to understand what sustainable business means. Sustainable business means we look at the impact to the people, social, sustainable business, planet, environment, and business, profit and purpose, while still having returns products. So these are the things we look into. Sustainable development means like we do development meeting the current needs without jeopardizing, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Corporate sustainability is a growing concern to seek not only profit but also social good. There are 3 pillars of sustainability: investment, environmental, social, responsible, and governance. So environmental sustainability about is being good environment, like you can reduce carbon footprint, you can reduce waste. Best obviously there's no reason why companies should not use sustainable means, because obviously it increases profitability, reduces costs, increases employee productivity. So there's a drastic advantage of using sustainable principle, because when you're doing wasteful, you're actually adding cost to it. Like when you're not you're burning something more, you are you're using sustainable means, like you're using solar panels instead of electricity from third party. You're saving a lot of money. The social responsibility pillar concept of employees, it has more thing as well. Like it's not about just environment, it's also about employees, consumers, the society, the supply chain. Now, of course, economy is about like you need to be sustainable, right? And plus honest. Our governance pillar refers to honest and transparent accounting practice and regulatory. This is so that it's all about you are giving justice to investors, you're giving justice to society and accounting practices, and you're actually even these are the 3 basic principles. And summary, basically, how do we do business will set the standard. Put social value in every business decision. Like that's the point of sustainability. Support other businesses, like if you are dependent on vendor, like who supplies say nut and bolt, will that sustain? What happens if it goes away? So that's why you have to support. Critical success factor, like how do we measure? Like it's just not about talking about something, it's about how do we measure critical, assess the issue, like identify some issue that little most, like you have to deliver most ROI, quick wins, right? So you have to identify issues that will deliver the most value and set out the strategy. Engage like you have to engage the organization, you have to identify the team who will work on it and organize the result. Like it's also about evaluating it. So let's go back to the environmental pillars. Often it gets the most, this is obviously everybody knows about it, this is the most talked about. And more focus reducing carbon from the packaging waste, water usage, and other environmental. Besides helping planet, these practices have a positive financial, because as I said, like it saves environment, it improves employee productivity, like you become 100% more smarter, like employees productivity doubles, you get more salaries, more revenue, more profit. Right. So less packaging means less. Like it's fuel efficiency also means reduced, but means what it could mean. Like this is one of the potential ideas. Like may not be like it could be using 100% renewable energy, right? Because you're cutting a lot of middleman. You could potentially source it from a renewable company, which because obviously it's a sustainable means. You could be just planting trees. Trees is highly profitable, like so like a mango tree could be worth 100 rupees, but it gives 10,000 rupees worth of mango every year. So it like it increases employee. Like if you have trees in your whatever shelter, or maybe it could be offshore center as well. It may not be in your project area as well, right? Energy efficient, no diesel, right? We could make diesel from recycling plastic. You're converting negative value item to very valuable item, building nature to into projects, waste. Rest waste means like how can you redesign the stuff so that wasteful resources, how can you reuse the cut pieces to make something more? And you don't have to use single-use plastic, and plastic can easily be made from biodegradable, from bio. Be the leader. That's it. Reap massive and resilience, reduction in mileage. So you have to make strategy. We will deliver environmental net gain. It need not be that you achieve 100% at day one, 0% waste on day one. And it need not be, it could be 10, 20-year plan, it could be 50-year plan. But you have to start having concrete structure. Like you can reduce water, and we will talk about many examples. There are like many companies who are reaping, like because companies are not following sustainable principle. Most companies have like can't go bust. Basically, they're not following sustainable standard. That means their costs are rising, the employees are dissatisfied, the consumers are dissatisfied. So that's the reason most of the company actually flop, like 20% in first year, 45% in second year. All but only G's of the initial is still surface. So it's not only your survival, it's also about your company survival. Like if you want to increase profit, sustainability can give you massive amount of profit. Like I'm from agriculture and food, but like it can give like 1,000 times more revenue. But of course, you don't have to implement all of them. Like 100% is pretty good. Even 10%. Excess profit is excess profit, right? You need not have to achieve. Sustainability gives you, sustainable means like reducing cost, absolute zero, nothing. And and of course other companies are not able to do because you are smart. So that's, and there are a lot of things, so it's not only about you, it's also about your supply chain. Like your could be net zero operational, I'm talking about now. Your operational means it could be done with offshore renewable capacity, offshore tree planting. Like you could diversify into like tree planting, or sponsors other way could give you additional source, resilient, build resilient in your business, future climate ready. Like, of course, no matter how much we try, we have to be prepared. Like the world has already warned 1.5 billion. It's going to good form. So it is going to, the winds which were going to 70 kilometer now come to 140 kilometer per hour. So is your building safe? Is your environmental safe? Will your wind farm fall down? So you have to build resilience in your infrastructures, and where net zero embodied come, like, net zero supply chain. So there are a lot of ways to do it. Like as I said, like it's not about you. If you use electricity, and there may be not be possible to put renewable energy in your place, you could do it the third party side. You could partner with other companies, right? Wind energy has gone as low as 5 rupees per watt. That's a massive amount of saving or returns which we can get. So when you start using all this, so not only you're making net operational carbon balance, you're actually reducing your cost drastically. Of course, you need to be smart, you have to plan for it. So it's also about verifying, like, okay, you did something, reduce energy use, reduce imported carbon, like you're using less carbon, like, less carbon friendly, recycling, maximize renewable energy supply, measure and verify how much did you actually achieve, right? So you set some plan, pressure is growing, like the world is getting more aware, there is law being formed, like it helps you prepare for future, right? There's a lot. So CEOs are getting 76% away, investors are 40x, like they want more sustainability. Employees care about it, consumers care about it. So everybody cares about it now. So the pressure is increasing. And let's talk about some businesses who took advantage of this. And we are growing at double digit. So this is from Stella McCarthy. It's a small, people might think it's only for big companies. No, it need not be. It could be medium size. It could be even a smallest size business. It could be the big conglomerate can do a lot more stuff. Like, you can integrate the supply chain, because your suppliers can either adopt the new ways, or you can just say, hey, if you're unable to give me renewable energy, I will set up my own, right? So, so we are growing double digit as well as and reduced by 35%. So revenue is increasing, cost is decreasing, profit is increasing. That's the benefit of sustainability. If there are things to consider, like is a strategic versus tactical system clear? Strategic means clear commitment. It's your line to business strategy, broad base. So it's basically long term, like what you think. Short term is like tactical, one-off project, risk center, opportunities. So you could start with tactical, get quick wins, save 20% cost, improve revenue by 50%. Like you could go tactical sustainability solution, show off to management and plan. But of course, you have to have a strategic and tactical combined. And let's talk about social pillar again. We talked about social. The social pillar ties back to another poorly defined concept, social license. Sustainable business should have support and approval, employees, stakeholder, community it operates, and so it's about treating employees better, employee environment better, employee side, business refocus on retention and engagement strategies, include more responsive benefit and as maternity, flexible learning, and in future we'll cover this imply and imply, like how this relate, like how does it improves your performance without actually. So basically it's about giving back so that they can give you back. Like if the employee productivity increases 100%, 1000% even is possible. Imagine the amount of returns you're getting. The same employee is now suddenly producing twice the amount of output. Yeah, of course, you have to take care of that employee. Like you have to pay him like 50% more, but he's generating 100% more. That means there's a net gain. Yeah, so it's not, and of course, not everything could be. So you have to also look into supply chain as well. So that's what operationalizing sustainability, right? You have to look into the supply chain, who's giving. So there's no separate slide for this. Basically, operational sustainability is all about that, right? What are the inputs to your outputs? How do you sustain that? Suppose you're dependent on RM, like fossil fuel, but fossil fuel is running out. That means the cost will, so that itself is an unsustainable business. So you have to think about it, like how do we convert from an unsustainable supply system to sustainable? Your only resource, like everything, your only resource is earth. Like every resource starts from the earth. So obviously earth is the first supply chain, that everything start from earth, right? But then you can go granular, right? Hey, I need this, so I need battery. I need the battery. So what is a sustainable? Are you recycling battery? What are the sources of that battery? Can you recycle it? Can you increase the capacity? Can you? There's a lot of things to consider. On the global, that's about is child labor. Like you don't want to, you need to be socially be aware also. Like apart from legal implications and consumer embarrassment, you cannot allow all these things. And we'll see that it gives you benefit. Like if you is the work environment safe? You don't want to lose crucial resources. Middle large and struggle. Right. Like this is one of these program which VF third wave program they call it. You can see that productive increase while defect decrease. So not only by their changes to the downline supply, right? Productivity was increasing and defect was decreasing. So that's the benefit it gives you. Some of the benefit do take time, but it again gets engaged. Like it makes the who is making this like feel a part of the system and become aligned with your goals. Zero defect, better quality products, more products. Like similarly, what about a big business, sustainable union? So this is the link, you can actually click on it. Sustainable living plan, it's about reaching 1.3 billion, lot of health and hygiene programs, like, so you can actually go through this link, and it's a press release from Unilever, and you can see what they are doing. So I will not go through this. The URL is here. It's a URL is also here. You can see the URL is here, and you can read through it. And so you can understand how they are benefiting it. And there are a lot of examples, hundreds and thousands of examples where it's not that all companies are flopping out. Only unsustainable companies are losing out. In summary, it's like reaching 1.3 billion people through health and hygiene program, reducing the total waste footprint per consumer by 32%, in zero waste landfill across factory, straight from there, reducing sugar across sweeten, enabling. So these are the benefits, high level. You can read the entire article, understand. What about another company, Levy, a gene company? Genes, like water, is one of the main important ingredients. So as I said, different company will have different strategy to meet what they want to do. So again, you can read the link. It's right there. So they save 3 billion liters water saved, and this is the detail about it. And that's what we have to do, case study, to understand that what are the benefits of these guys. How does this 100% more revenue or 100% cost reduction? It's obviously 100% cost reduction is not possible. Like cost reduction will be 50. Means how does it reduce cost by 50%? Obviously, production capacity can go 1,000%. Like you can double up, triple up, and the cost will reduce by half, 1/4, 1/3, 1/8. Something like that. I'll let you read this again, and you can go through it and understand what they did. So coming back to economy pillar. Economic pillar sustainability is where most business feel they are on firm ground. To be sustainable, of course, you need to make profit, right? You need to be sustainable. Like it's beyond UN or any government capacity to save the world. It's only businesses have the capacity to save humanity, the world. The reason is obviously business runs the world. Every services, every food, water, even air is supplied by business. Like if you want to live in a breathable environment, you have to go to a business. And government cannot give you. 99% of the world is not polluted. So if you need to regenerate, yes, you have to go to a business who can give you environment which is breathable. If you want water, clean water is not available. Unfortunately, it's all contaminated by chemicals and plastic, microplastics. So only businesses can give. So that's the important factor, is like businesses are only capable to give you sustainable solution. It's beyond the capacity. But again, just the global warming, we need to plant 2 trillion, so it's quite 20 trillion. Who has $20 trillion cash spare to plant the trees? And they're not talking about returns, but business make money from doing good things. So when you save somebody's life, yeah, you do save and do give charity somewhat, but many humans have a lot of money, so they give you benefit. So if you save somebody, they give you money, and that's how you make a sustainable business. Economic pillar of sustainability is where most people feel that they are firm ground to sustainable, profitable. Yeah, but again, it's not only about profit. So you have to think about long term. It's not about just you care about your current 2 rotis. You have to think about what will you eat in the future. So that's what about. It's about sustaining. You don't want your business to collapse in 1 year or 2 years or next 5 years or 10 years, right? You need to have a sustainable business. You don't want to go like how current businesses runs. They just keep flopping every year. More the year goes, more chances that the business will just vaporize. You don't want to happen, right? And you have to follow. Right. So economic principle is the most important aspect of it. Like, sustainability can give you immense profit, immense revenue, reduce costs, give you leadership in market, sustain your business because you are, and again, it's the requirements, the human needs are changing. So yeah, so this is one of the things we have to always keep. You can only be sustainable if you are economically sustainable, because if you don't have the money, there's nothing, you don't have a business. So to do anything, well, let's look into developing strategies of benchmarking and balanced scorecard. Okay, there's this guy, one benchmark, that HTML. So okay. Yeah. So what is benchmarking? We talked about a lot of stuff, right? And again, it's of course it's not concrete. Like, how do we measure it? Carbon footprint, like how do we do it? Where do we go? Where do we start? How do we measure it is going? So this is where things go little. Developing strategies for benchmark. Benchmark is a common practice to help establish baseline, like compared with other business best practice, identify risk and opportunity, create competitive environment within company or organization. Using multiple key topics management, like, you can brand development, ESG factors, this corporate evaluate and prioritize improvement opportunity, as well as support lifecycle assessment and disclosure requirement. So there are a lot of benefit, like, it's basically, this is what we do. Sustainability benchmarking provides clear benefit so that you can know, you can talk to a stakeholder, like, hey, what are these? And you can compare with other industry, like, hey, we are this much, our cost is less compared to our competitor. And that's why other benchmark entities evaluate sustainable performance, voluntary and mandatory. I mean, sometimes your industry may not have, then you'll compare to a closest business possible, forecast potential risk and opportunity, and demonstrate positive impact assessment. It helps determine whether you're not system strategies are effective, provide recommendation for closing potential gaps, and assist business to gain addressing those gaps. Like, what are the gaps? Unless you know what are the gaps, like, are you using more water, are you using less water? The benchmarking process provides a guidepost. So say investment can. So it basically help everybody understand what you are trying to do and why. And there are many standards across the world. Many are coming up there, many are becoming a law as well these days. Yeah, so many across industry. For example, your government when authorized sustain program use public procurement. Like, so before you government can buy something, you have to follow certain guidelines, and you have to meet those guidelines. And how do you meet those guidelines? And you have to demonstrate that you have met those guidelines. It's all about ranking it, like, why did we select this company over that company? And we say, hey, he's meeting 80%, and this guy is only meeting 40% of them. There are 4 commonly used sustainability benchmark model. Threshold model, focus on determining whether entity meets a performance level defined by benchmark and can some result in recognition or certification. A ranking model, where performance against benchmark highest to lowest, like I talked about percentage, right? A pair comparison model focus on internally assessing around the performance compared with other similar entity. Improvement model focus on gap analysis based on as present performance. This is used to guide further. Look at ESG benchmark. As I said, there's many. You can just Google it and learn about it. I've given some link, but you can just do it and learn about it. I'm not going to go in details about this. It's already becoming too big. I will let you do some study. That's one of the like you have to do a lot of studies. It's a pretty big topic. Like, you know, you just don't double your revenue 100% overnight, right? You have to put effort on it, and there's a huge potential. Like, you know, it's not about doubling it. You could even go 1,000% more, 10 times more revenue, then reduce problem. So there's a lot of work to be done. So it's open-ended, of course. It's a pretty open-ended sustainability topic, and it's the next 100 years plan. It's not like it's happening just overnight, but we could start getting those like 10%, 100%. But again, it's upon you, your business, and you, how much you want to achieve. If you achieve 500%, your cost reducing, you're basically, you know, getting a step ahead of your competition. Like if you're not following, somebody else is following. You have to remember that. So if you're following unsustainable principle, your business is suffering, but there will be other companies. You know, world has 7 to 8 billion people and so many companies working on the same topic. So it's important that you adopt these as soon as possible, apart from having better employees, you know, better success. So yeah, these are the standard. I'll let you read them, Google it and read about it. There's a link on this guy, so you can read about this guy. What is ASIL credibility? Yeah, there are many organizations also, standards and what it does, you know. So I'll lead you, let you read through it. I'm not going, you have to do some, it's again from these site only. Get started with sustainability benchmarking. You can pause the video and read through it. I will not. So that's more or less about benchmarking. I have few slides for that. I'll just share with you so that you know what. Yeah, but balance scorecard. Okay, let's see that. Okay. So basically, balance scorecard is all about balancing stuff. Okay, so let's continue with the balance scorecard. What we have here is I renamed the file. So first of all, this benchmarking, I call it benchmarking.html, and let's see if this it's no longer called one benchmarking because it didn't make sense there. So this I've renamed it to benchmarking. Okay, and now we made a new slide for a balance scorecard. I can call it a web page, whatever you want to call it. Balance scorecard.html. Right. So what is a balance scorecard? So that's another, you know, so when you have to balance, how do we look to shareholders? Sales, gross profit, like this is financial. So this is basically, you have to balance. How do we see number customer satisfaction? Can you continue grow, create value, ordering time, preparation, complaint, what we meant to do, increase, learning and growing. So basically, it's all about having, this is a circular system. Like, you know, you have to, it's a flowing system, right? You have to. So basically, this gives us, from a lot of things, right? Internal business processes, financial, learning and growth, customers. It's probably effective management approach for companies on the basis of consistent value oriented. So dividing the company into 4 different customer, business, customers, business, finance, business, process, employees, and learning. Balance between 4 perspectives. There are 4 perspectives of BSC: soft factors, intellectual capital, as well long-term financial success. Customer measure, what you want to do. 8,000 customer per month, average customer satisfaction is what you want. Is customer getting happy, not happy? They are getting more defects. What is the issue? That's what you have to measure. Actions, what you want. It's also about target, action, result. So basically, how do we achieve better, more customers? You have to do. So basically, this is the flow. You have to consider financial aspect, consider customer perspective, consider perspective, learning and perspective, and non-market perspective. So this is basically a circular system which you have to adopt to. And it's nothing new. Translate, clarify vision and strategy, communication and networking, communication, breakdown, link, corporate planning, and then it feedbacks learning system. So it's basically a feedback loop which gives you a balanced scorecard. It's a mean of balancing stuff so that you can continuously continue to grow. This is the target, more sales, more gross margin. And that's why sustainability is important, because sustainability is one of those tools which can continuously keep on reducing your cost by doing better and better ways, Anyway, so the last topic we will cover today is about entrepreneurs and employee engagement. We already discussed a brief about operational. If you have any question, can entrepreneur and employee. And then this is again a pretty important topic. So yeah, entrepreneur and again have uploaded it here. You can actually see the slides if you want, or you can just watch the video as you want it. So the URL is this guy. So basically everything you do is employee. You are getting business because somebody is working for you, right? And again, so they helps you, some of the sustainability goals and may not be a core objective, and this is where your internal employees, right, or could help you deliver this. Right, and I'll take some example which is in the notepad as well. Okay, so employee independent build personal resource. The personal resource as work experience management. Entrepreneurial activities of an employee, like employee entrepreneur, positively impact organizational outcomes. It can improve your productivity, reduce the effect in employee. In terms of build personal resource, suppose build better quality material and new there's many research study done on it. So the resultant latent scores and show that employee interest predicted positive in employee personal resource over time, and personal resource predicted higher, more stable experience of work engagement. We found evidence of a positive game of cycle of employee entrepreneur behavior, personal experiences, and work engagement. The practical influence of this finding is that intervening increase either one of these constructs can be mutual gains. And again, I refer to another research study, which you can see that, and you can actually read out through about it. It's a new thing about it. Many companies already, like Google and Starbucks, are already using them. Nothing stopping from you developing these. It's basically, as I said, sustainability is all about reducing cost, increasing output, increasing profit. So I'll read through this, and the link is here. The link is also there, right? It's basically, you already talked about benchmarking and build. So this some planning, and this is a little out of the way, right? So I haven't got a chance to put this, but I'll go it from here. Right. So I'll just make a font a little bigger so that you can. So I'm going to cover some of the case study which we have. Right. So there's another called social entrepreneurs, of course, posting an internal organization transformation so that innovation more becomes CSR. Like what is social? So basically, it's internal champions who are already doing all these good things. Like, these are the things should be done, and not everything has to be done in a status quo manner. And you need to feedback. There's another thing which you need to encourage, because the employees knows you about a lot about how things are working. And if you have a liberty to express idea, then you get, like US understand this better than most. It gives manager of easy unit to determine what community investment program is more appropriate. So in London, they are hosting student debates. So and that's what. Obviously, when they host something, obviously it's about giving back to society. But at the end of the day, more people are getting aware, and they feel Starbucks to a choice to go. So you can keep the new ideas flowing, because you have to keep ahead of the competition. So how do we save energy? Right, and the best idea gets the electricity bill for the winning employee. Similarly, last one, again, there's so many. UK retailer Marks & Spencer have run green idea competition every year. Annually, the competition is 500 with winning. So you see, and you're getting like so many good ideas which can pursue, and not only you can pursue, you can actually make. It's not about the management has to do this. You can actually make the idea, because he's the idea giver, right? Take responsibility in implementing that change in the organization. It's the status quo. Often any organization is basically path to destruction. Most companies are flopping these days. Most companies. So to change, you have to change. It's not about just earning money this year or maybe next 5 years. It's about having a sustainability principle, continuous improvement, continuous better. Okay, I think I will. That's all for today, folks. We'll talk to you later. Any question? Just give me your ask there in the comments, and I'll go from there. Bye.